Welcome everyone to day 3 of the Awaken Your Feminine Power Immersion. I can't believe it's already day 3, even though it's still day 2 in French Polynesia and in some parts of the world. But it's officially the last 3 workshops, and today we have my beautiful sister Thatja with a magical workshop called The Sensual Rise is the Master Key, if I remember that right. You correct me if I had a mistake in there. And maybe you know her from the podcast. She was on there this week. And she's such a beautiful soul, such a beautiful feminine embodied sister. And I can't wait for everyone to experience your magic live now, and for everyone who's watching the recording.
Thank you so much. Then super excited. Yeah, the podcast was fun. So naked, literally very so naked. And yeah, so the code is sensual that we are gonna be unraveling today together. And I want to invite you to come and be part of this conversation, because this is a conversation that we need to have. It's like, okay, now we're here as women together, and there is so many things that we want to speak with others, but we don't have the opportunity, or we don't have the experts in the room or other women interested in the same things as us. But here we have that. We have the space, we have the permission to really ask questions. If you want to unmute yourself at any moment and ask, and you just share your experience, if you feel like I'm gonna create invitations for that. And so just know that that will be recorded. If you don't mind, obviously you can always take your image out and just put your voice, if you feel this is appropriate for you. If you still want to share, just reframing a little bit to prepare ourselves for all the surprises ahead, so you know what you are willing to give yourself to this space and contribute to this space. I feel like this is the best way for us to grow together, is to co-create this space, right? Because the more that you're here, the more I can give you, right? So I'm very excited. Hello, ladies. Welcome. Welcome to day 3. Welcome to Sensual. Your sensuality is your master code. It's so true. It's so true. I want to start by asking you, what is it for you? What comes up for you when I say sensual? Can you write for me in the chat? The first thing that comes into your mind, what it means to be sensual, or what is this word, what comes up in your mind, what immediately you think about. And it doesn't matter what comes up for you, there's no right or wrong, just the first thing that comes to you. Presence, my essence, love it. Water, sensitivity, open, soft, to be truly connected to my feminine sexual energy. Anything else? Physical contact, touch. Ooh, yes, absolutely. This is all part of it. So I want to decode with you a little bit more the meaning of sensual, right? Because it's very important for us to understand, so we know where we stand. To be sensual is to feel alive, because then all your senses are truly alive, right? Then you know that you are in your purpose. When you feel alive, when your senses are activated, it's like there is purpose moving through your veins, through your body. Why do I say that? Because imagine that God, the universe, divine intelligence asked us, hey, do you want to incarnate on earth? And we say, yeah, absolutely, you know, it's so beautiful down there. But then they told us, hey, if you go, you're gonna feel all the emotions. You're gonna feel a lot of happiness, excitement. There will be a lot of sadness. There will be all kinds of emotions. There will be joy, there will be grief, there will be anger, there will be rage, there will be jealousy, there will be anxiety, there will be excitement. There will be all the things. Do you still want to go? Even if you're gonna feel all these things that are not gonna be only pleasurable, there will be a lot of pain as well. Are you sure you wanna go and feel it all? Yes. We said yes. We all said yes. I said yes, you said yes, we all said yes. Everybody that is here, we said yes to this journey of sensuality. You know, it is so important for us to understand what truly is sensuality, and the meaning of being alive is sensuality, because then you are living in your purpose. You said yes to this, and when you're feeling all your senses, then you're living in your purpose because you said yes to this. It's simple. Yes. So why do we resist? Can you please tell me, why do we resist living in our purpose, living in our senses, living fully? Tell me in the chat, whatever comes up for you. Why do we resist? Avoidance of fear and pain, trauma of the unknown. Yeah, to avoid pain. So, but what happens when we avoid pain? I've been through a lot of like embodiment practices and breath work and trauma healing, and you know, all these things that really ignite like really intense feelings. And I remember I was in this room many years ago. This teacher, she was brilliant, very charismatic, very magnetic, very powerful teacher. And I would love to go to her class. She was like witchy and shamanic, and I would sit in her class, and you never know what's gonna happen because it would always be different, you know. She was always come like it was always unique. And that class, I didn't know what I was signing up for. So I was you know, I was going through some things. I don't remember exactly what it was, to be honest, but I remember I was resistant that day. And I was resistant, and everybody was like making sounds and screaming. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Oh, it was like, oh, please, I don't have patience for that right now. You know, when we are in that mood, it's like, oh my God, these hippies. And you just like in this judgments of your own mind. And then you're like, you know what? Nobody's gonna judge me. We're all like, everyone is screaming anyway. Everyone is doing their own thing. If I keep myself with my fear of judgment, which it's a total safe space right now, it's a controlled environment, I can really scream out loud. Nobody's gonna hear me because they're screaming louder than me. And so I allowed myself, you know, to feel all my emotions in that moment. And even like those thoughts in my head, I was like, ah! I was just expressing that. And more pain started coming through. I was like, feeling all the pain, feeling all the anger, the rage. And I was just feeling that. And I was like, I'm tired of feeling that. I'm getting tired. But I'm like, no, keep going. She would be like, keep going. You know how these breath work teachers, they do, like, go, motivating you. And I was like, okay. And after like, I don't know how long, I lost track of time, I started feeling pleasure in my body. I'm even getting goosebumps right now because I really started feeling like this orgasmic, erotic even. sensation. And then I was like, oh my God, I am so gorgeous. I'm so beautiful. I'm so alive. I remember feeling myself like, okay, I'm powerful. You know, this thing here is really powerful. This person, this piece of heaven on earth, it's really special. It's really powerful. And I remember seeing myself that way after going through all the pain. And that I realized that you cannot only truly feel pleasure in the way that you are capable of if you don't allow yourself to feel the pain. And so that really kind of like clicked on me, and I started to really like pay attention to that. And obviously, like, you know, when you're obsessed with personal development, who is here? Who is obsessed with personal development? Please say yes or say no, whatever. Yes, I see everyone. Yes, me too. Me too. I am obsessed in, like, you know, I think that's why we find each other. And obviously, like, we are growing. Yeah, we're growing, but we're still very rare. Like, um, this is like maybe 1% of the population that are really like striving to be a better person, like in this way, in this obsessive way that we do, which is really healthy, but it, you know, everything balanced is healthier. So, okay, so cool. So we know why, you know, there are many reasons why, and it's gonna be the reason why we are resisting to feel. Obviously, there are no nuances of that, but basically, we're trying to avoid pain. And then it's only like keep us from truly living, like truly alive in our potential, in our senses. Who here would like to live a life where they feel like that feeling that I just described? After the pain comes the pleasure, you know, like that you're like activated, like your body. And then after, when you activate this way, when you look at things, you see different colors. They are brighter. There is beauty. When you smell, like you smell things, you smell the flowers, but you also smell your food. Like before you eat, you're like, wow, you know. And when you move, you are grounded in your body. But because we avoid so much feeling the pain, we are not really truly alive. Most people, they're not really like awakened, you know. And these are the deeper layers that we are here like working on and committing. Like I feel that the work of the feminine, a big part of the work that we do here, not only among women but also among men, because it's important to understand that feminine energy is energy. It's not gender related. So it's an energy that has been suppressed, not only among women but also among men. So I feel you girls right now like breathing. I can feel your breath, right? I can feel your presence. Yes, Sada, see you. So like we're here together, like let's start in this moment really feeling each other, the presence of each other, sensing. How far can we feel, sense the room around you. Like if you need to close your eyes and just like feel yourself, you know, occupying or like expanding into this space, you know, that you are in. Feel yourself present and expanding in that space. Really feel your energy expanding. You are everywhere here. And then when you open your eyes, can you feel like, how does it feel? Can you see that light up here? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say something really funny that really changed a lot to me and really anchors me. I have a mentor of mine. He's a breath worker, a very good one. And he said to me, you know, whenever you are in a situation that is taking away the power, because I am a very sensitive person, yeah. I work a lot with energy, so I'm always like extra, like I take in, and you know, I can really feel you. I can really feel people. I don't know, many of you are probably like that too. You know, like sensitive, empathetic, you would say. So for me, if I go to like a nightclub, for example, I gotta protect my energy. And so, like, you know, the way that you can do that is through your, you know, your senses. The way you can protect your energy is through your senses, because like nothing is created, everything is transformed. So like you can really like transform the energy from that light, that how do you call this, please someone help me? Candelabra in Portuguese, anyone? But you really take the energy of this chandelier. Yes! Like, for example, it's a gorgeous chandelier, right? There's light, it's like sparkly, it's crystal, there's light, it's like beautiful. And then, like, if I was in that, it happened to me. That's another click that I had, because he taught me that. He would teach me like how to harness my energy and how to really master my senses. That was our whole mentorship about. He was very powerful, and I would be very interested in that. So I would ask him all the ways I could protect my energy, because I also work online, you know. And so when we work online, we're like showing our lifestyle, showing our successes, showing our pain. We have to protect online, we have to protect offline, we have to just be, so then we can feel that we can be ourselves, you know. So we can create our safety container. The masculine is the container that we create as a feminine. We have to create that for ourselves. So the chandelier, it's like you look at it, you're going through something, you find something that is beautiful in the room, that is powerful, that is beautiful, that you really like. You look at it and you're like, take the power in of that chandelier. It's like, what are all the qualities? It's luminous, it's beautiful, it's radiant. And then you take that in your body and you become that. But you can do that with a flower, you can do that with a plant, you can do that with anything that you want, right? You can shape yourself and shape who you are by taking in the environment around you. You can do, you know, in the negative ways, like you focus on something that is really negative and you just keep focusing on that, you're gonna take that in. But if you're in an environment that it's like has a lot of drunk people, in my, when that clicked for me, I was in like this club and there was like a lot of drunk people around me, and that was, you know, I'm not like I'm a person, I can live in many environments. I'm very multi-dimensional. I don't mind going to a club sometimes, but I know that if I am open, if that day I was open, like my energy was very open, so I was feeling a lot, and I had to do my practice inside the club. So I was like looking at it, and all of a sudden, I was again like the beacon of light, like for me. And maybe for others, I don't know, it's not the point, but for me, I was closed up. I was not taking, my senses were protected because I was focused. I mastered my sense. That was like vision. Yeah. And then, okay, so let's talk about the senses before we go into like the next parts. So we have like 5 senses that we know of, basically, you know, like eyesight, you can hear, you can taste, you can touch, you can smell. This is the 5 senses, yeah? So being sensual means that you are activated, you are alive in all your senses, and you can sharpen those senses. You can play with them. You can learn how to master those senses. Yeah. Now, obviously, each one is very like different from the other. Like, how do you see things? I just gave you one example, and there are many different ways. It's like, how do you see things? Because sometimes you're seeing one thing and someone can be seeing another thing. It's all about your internal world. So how are you seeing things? Yeah, it is very important that it's like, okay, sometimes in our lives we see things black and white, you know, nothing is very exciting, nothing is very, we see, you know, I remember it's a kind of like a little bit of a sad story that I'm gonna tell you, but it's necessary. Okay, we gotta talk about those things. So for me, because it was important and it was a point, and I feel like I went through this, so I could also talk about it because it was a big lesson for me. I went to Hawaii. That's what I when I got in touch with Tanya. I was in Hawaii like a few months ago, and I had big expectations. I have been traveling the world for the last 7 years, basically, nonstop, like really nonstop, going to the most beautiful places in the world, traveling and speaking at events and creating retreats and teaching online from anywhere and everywhere, supporting female leaders to create their a life beyond their wildest dreams and all the things. And I have been traveling, you know, it's when you're traveling and you're doing all those things to hold like all the energy while you're traveling. I'm not a very super organized person. It's hard. But it's very fulfilling too, because you're always, you know, uh, you're always being, you know, enchanted by life because it's always something new. There's always change. It's always beautiful. You meet cultures and you can see what is happening in the world with your own eyes. You're not in the media looking at like news. You're there experiencing the world. And so through COVID, I traveled a lot and all the things. But then I got tired. In a sense of like, I'm ready for my next level. I want to build a home. Like, I'm ready for this. You know, I worked a lot. I can do this. I can like start understanding where I'm going to put some roots or where I'm going to call home. And I'm like, there's one more place I need to go because I don't know yet. And that was Hawaii. And I don't know why I had this intuition, Hawaii. And then the same day, a girlfriend of mine, which is very amazing and feminine and very amazing to be around. She's like, I'm going to Maui. And I'm like, I love her so much. She's been living in Maui for so long. She has this energy, this feminine energy. I'm like, I want more of this energy. How are you going there? Amazing. Oh, you're gonna love it. I'll connect you then with the people that I know. Um, so I was like, okay, let me go there and see if Hawaii is my place because I was feeling like it could be. So I went there, and you know, I traveled the most beautiful places in the world. Like, I'm not kidding. The most beautiful places in the world. My standards are really high. Like, so I got to Maui. Oh yes, no, I think that one is gonna be the most beautiful place, Tanya. You're the place that you are right now. I think I haven't been to the most beautiful place. I think where you live is definitely like, yeah, I need to go there. Um, so I had high expectations for Maui. Don't get me wrong, I love Maui, but when I got there, I think it was autumn. Everything was dry, and I was imagining something else different, more like maybe other islands. I wasn't very happy. And I was in Hawaii. And I couldn't get around my head. I'm like, what the heck? You're complaining. You're in Hawaii. How can you not think this is beautiful? Something's wrong with me. And I swear to God, I kid you not, I was stuck on that loop for a few days. I would just like drive the car, because there you have to have a car. I was driving the car and I was having so much fun. I love to drive cars because then I can sing while I'm driving. So I have my sing-along playlist and I'm singing. That was the highlight of Maui for me. And I was like, you know, meeting the people that I knew, the group of people, and I'm like, guys, I know this is gonna sound very strange, but I don't like it. I don't like, and they're like, wow, I never heard that before. Everyone was like, you are weird. I never heard someone say that about Maui. It's like, what is wrong with you? And I was just like, I can't, I don't know. It's not it. I don't like it. And I was feeling like I just wanted to ground. I had this high expectation. I needed a place. I was looking for it. And I was just like, this is not it. And I sensed that that wasn't it. And then, you know, I went like that for like maybe a week. I was going through a process of like, I don't like it. And I was resisting. And the more I resisted, I would have problems in the house I was in. Like little problems, but they were like constant. So they were challenging. And because I was resisting something. And Maui has this very feminine energy. Very feminine energy. And it's that kind of feminine energy that really tests you and initiates you. So it was initiating me, right? And I decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna relax, and this is not it. So I'm just gonna enjoy myself. You know, I was actually having like a 1 month break from work as well. So it's like, I was just doing like podcast interviews and things like that that didn't require my full attention, you know, to create. And so I was just like relaxing, and I decided to relax. And as soon as I relaxed, I went out again for a drive singing. And the world was different. And I saw Maui in a whole different way. It was insane. It was insane to see it in a different way like that. So how do you see things like, and why you're not seeing the beauty of it? What are you resisting? You know, what are you resisting? Is there something you're resisting? Because I know I can see beauty in like the most horrible situations if I am not resisting. If I'm resisting, I'm gonna judge. I'm gonna be like, no. Like, this is our life. It's not like we're going, and I mean, we're going somewhere. We're gonna die one day. That's it. But while we're here, this is it. Every moment counts. So if you cannot see the beauty in the bad, in the pain, then what? What are you waiting for? Like, until you get to your next destination, until you get to you're never gonna get to your next destination if you cannot see the beauty now. So there's something within you that is resisting. Okay. So just do some work on that. Just be aware. I just like planted a seed within you. Yeah. So whenever you cannot see beauty, just be patient with yourself. Please be patient. Remember that. It's very important. It doesn't matter. Like if you are resisting and you're like, why am I resisting? Like, the idea is to relax into the resistance. Like, I am resisting. Oh, it's so nice. I'm resisting. It's okay. Oh, it's like, don't resist the resistance as well, right? Because we can resist resistance, and that's like, it's not going anywhere. So yeah, let's expedite the process to really feeling alive. Okay, so then we talk a little bit about the vision, but it's also the senses. It's also like the way you taste things. You know, it's everything. Like hearing, for example. How do you hear things, right? He, like the hearing sense in terms of hearing, your ear is not like your eyes that you can shut. Your ear is always on unless you put a plug, but your ear is always open. So it's not like, sometimes we really don't have a choice in the moment. Like if you are in a place that like there's construction, there's this, you can remove yourself from the place, but you cannot like, oh, there's a lot of light, let me shut my eye. So your ear, it's like, you gotta kind of really take action, like to remove yourself from a situation, or to put a plug. Like you have to take your hands and find the plug and put it in. You know, if you have, it's a thing, you know. For me, I am very sensitive, so I'm very sensitive on my ears. It's very funny. It's very funny because I'm so sensitive. My ears are so sensitive. Like if there's a lot of wind, it gets hurts. The music is very loud, it starts hurting. If someone is talking too much, it hurts me. Like I don't know how to explain. If someone is talking too much, if there's a lot of TV, it really buzzes me out, and then I start like losing my senses. Basically, I start like shutting down. Basically, so what I have to do, I have to always kind of take care of my ears, so all my other senses can be like harmonic. So what I do, I always have earplugs, you know, like I always have in my bag, always, always, always. If someone is talking too much, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm not. I love her to death, but I was staying with my mom's friend, and she smokes weed. So she smokes weed and she gets super excited and she doesn't stop talking. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I love you so much, but it's 10 p.m. I am ready to sleep. Boom. And we were traveling. So I was traveling on New Year's with my aunties. It was super fun with two powerful women. One of them smokes. And we were in Thailand, and it's legal in Thailand, right? So she was smoking all the time, but she would get so anxious and so excited, and so she's so alive, you know. She's so alive and everything. She didn't stop talking for a minute the whole day, every day for like a week. And then the last night she moved into my room because she was leaving early and the place was overbooked. And so she's like, can I stay in the room? I'm like, sure. Okay. All right. But bling. I love her. I love her. She is amazing. She's very exciting. And you know what? I respected my senses. I was like, I was starting to shut down. For me, it was a little bit too much. And I was like, I'm gonna put this because I'm gonna sleep, okay? Because otherwise she would keep talking, like even if I'm sleeping. So I put that in and I was able to sleep. So I'm giving like funny examples, but like it's real, you know, like even who are the people that you listen, you know, what are the Netflix series or whatever that you're listening? Like who are, whatever, are you watching like regular TV? What are you listening? Because you cannot shut your ears. Once it's on, you hear it. So you have to control your environment. What are the things that you're listening? It's very important. And it goes on, you know, like I can give many examples, like with taste. I'm gonna go through taste like a bit faster, but like it's the same thing. When you're eating your food, do you just swallow it? You know, can you like taste? Can you taste when you're kissing someone, their tongue? Like, can you taste their energy? I don't know. You can taste things. Like, you know, the more that you open yourself, you can taste other people. Like, how does it taste? Sometimes you can look at something and you can feel the taste in your mouth. I don't know. Like, I can touch some people and I can feel like a taste. It's crazy. But taste for me, either I hate the taste, like I can really, there are things that I can't stand as well. There are people that it's like I can't taste them. If you know what I mean. Like if you kiss someone and you just like, our bacteria, it doesn't match, you know. Your taste can really like, okay, this person is a match, physically at least. Yeah. So same thing with touch, you know. You gotta be touch. I can do a whole class around touch, actually. I'm just like, we're going super fast around those things because we just have some time, like enough time. But touch, it's kinesthetic. So like touch, it's like memory. Everything is memory, but I feel like for women, I feel like touch is a big one. How do you feel? What do you feel like from the five senses? What do you feel that it's your most, like the most one, like the one that is, you have more accuracy or more aliveness? Can you see things more alive? You hear things in a certain way, or taste, touch, smell. Peculiarities we are looking for here. Difference. Yeah. The unique ways. Think about those things. Ears, most pleasurable touch. Yeah, some people like most pleasurable would be the taste, you know, food. You know, for women it's very normal. And then you can see like, okay, so maybe I feel so much pleasure with food. And maybe I'm shutting down my touch. You know? So you are overdoing in one of the things to compensate something else that you were shut. So, and yeah, so communicating those things, it's very honoring all the senses as you move through life is going to make you highly empowered and alive, because you are in alignment with yourself, and that means everything. Like honestly, it is so powerful when you can honor, like, okay, touch me, don't touch me, you know, I don't want to be touched there, or not yet. Sexually, it's very important. It's a whole other topic that it's very important for us women, because you know, like especially no, now this for a long time we didn't, first off, sexuality, we did not have the education in school. So, and I'm feeling like more and more sexuality has been sex nowadays for the younger, the most like the generation younger than me, which I would say the 20s, the 18, 20. Like I was watching yesterday, and that's what I'm talking about here. What do you hear? I was like, you know, just browsing while I was getting ready to go to this birthday dinner. I was browsing through Netflix, something to listen. Because I'm, you know, in the house that I'm staying, there's a house TV in the room, which like, sometimes is good. So I put it this series about the younger generation and their sexuality or something, and it was horrible. Don't watch. It's not good. Um, but it's like bunch of like teenager boys going around and competing who fucks more. Uh, don't watch. And if you watch with like a very like discerning eye judgment. Like this is not it, and there's not the majority like of people around me for sure. This is not the reality, right? I hope not yours as well. If it is, please pay attention to that in your life, your environment. It's very important. But what I'm saying, it's like the way that it's being communicated, it's very shallow. And us women, many times we allow ourselves, so men, they get status for boys. Hi, Emma. They get status by having sex with more women or having the whatever girl, you know, or having the money. La la la. Yeah. And for us women, we want to be desired. We want to be accepted. We want to feel, you know, that we are wanted. We want to feel like, okay, I want you. It's different than men. We're different. I mean, most people, like in general, like in general. So we will allow certain types of touch just so we can fit in, right? So it's very important to see how we allow ourselves to experience those senses. Because when you can honor it, when it's sacred, when it's aligned, when it's true, it feels way better than, you know, the first stage. One thing that I teach a lot, that I'm devotee of these teachings. It's the first, the second, and the third stage of love. I learned that from David Data. I'm like, I studied this 10 years already with him. He's one of my mentors. And who knows what I'm talking about here? Anyone? First, second, third stage of love. Okay, so first stage of love, first stage, it's unaware, basically. It's when you, it's when you are like in the survival mode, and when you are dependent in the others for approval, you know, it's unaware qualities. And then you have the unaware qualities of the feminine and the unaware qualities of the masculine. um Basically, like, this is energy, but it, you know, a woman can have unaware qualities of the masculine and a man can have unaware qualities of the feminine. It's not gender related, but most women have more feminine, most men have more masculine, because, you know, that's who we're grown like that. And and um as we grow up, we start becoming more independent. And you know, some people, they, okay, it's really important to speak in 15 minutes, so I'm going to try to be as clear as possible. First, second, and third stage is dependent. Second stage is when you evolve and you become independent. So for a woman, she was in her, I'm going to give an example. First stage, she was manipulative. What is the unaware qualities of the woman? Help me out on the chat. Manipulative, dramatic, um, blame. Like, she goes into that drama. She is volatile. You know, all those qualities of the feminine that is like unaware. When she evolves, and then society tells her like, hey, you know, You gotta, it's not, we're not gonna hire you if you're crazy like this. You know, and then we're like, okay, let me shut down a little bit so I can fit in, so I can, you know, make money, be independent, get a job, be respected. So we shut down a little bit, and then we go to this, you know, when we go to the second stage, we're like, okay, I don't need you to tell me anymore, um give me money anymore, because I have my own money. I don't need you anymore in my life because I can do it by myself, right? And we enthrone being independent. We were in a society, we are still in a society that we are enthroning independence, which is great. It's way better to be independent than to be dependent. It's way better, but it's not supreme. It's not the highest. The highest is when we can become interconnected. So first stage man, controlling, controlling, dominating, right? Like that. Guys that, you know, want to have sex and I pay for it, like Lamborghini, only like shallow interests. And the woman on the first stage, if she doesn't grow, it's the same. It's like manipulation, you know, it's using others into their favor, you know, manipulative. You know, we all know someone like that in our lives. Yes or no? You know what I'm talking about? Yes. So we all grow, men, women, we grow, we become independent. I don't need a man anymore. And the guys are like, I don't need a woman anymore. I mean, you know, I'm fine. Now I can wash my own dishes. I do static dance. And then I become like in touch with their emotions, and which is great. And they, you know, they're like, you know, I don't know if you're in the spiritual community, but there's a lot of like more feminine men nowadays than masculine, like in some of those communities. Tanya, you know what I'm talking about for sure. I can see with your smile. Yeah, in our community, that like, you know, we have some very many similar friends. If you see this spiritual community, the guys are like super feminine, and then as women, we're like, what the heck? Where are the men? Where are they? I want a man to come here and claim me and pay the bills of the dinner, you know, and bring me. We want that. But then we also like, we are empowered. We're empowered. We're independent. You don't need to pay my, I can pay my own bills. It's like, our interests are colliding. It's okay. Look, it's not either or, it's both and more. It's not about us being empowered and not being able to drop into the feminine and have a masculine man. We can have all the things, but the thing is, we need to learn how to drop back into our core essence. And that's through the senses, right? That's through the senses that you do that. By what? By having the courage of opening your heart. And the more that you can be in your feminine heart, the more men will become men. The more women that you can be, more men they will be able to be. Let men be men so we can be women. The more that we try to suppress their divine nature, which that's what we're not doing. We're not doing that. And they are not also, they didn't. Okay, let me put it that way. We created a society. Oh, we co-created a society. There were bigger interests, powerful people trying to manipulate and control society so they could have more power. Absolutely. But we co-created, we led it, we you know, we didn't stand strong, we didn't use our skills, So that happened, patriarchy happened. Yeah. And now we are in a moment where we have the space, the path was already paved for us, you know, by the previous generations of like feminist movement and things like that. You know, there was beautiful paths already paved for us, and now we are in a moment in time where it's easy compared to what it was. We can vote, we have a right, we can sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time, we can have equal pay, depending. But there are so many things still that we are trying to be too much like separated, independent. That's not the supreme. So we have to understand that not to enthrone the feminine, or the independence aspects of being a woman or being a man. We want interconnection. That's what's going to truly bring us the fulfillment that we desire, is when we can really become, we can merge, and you can bring your qualities and they can bring their qualities, and then we can create something better and greater, something even more extraordinary. And there is a journey through the, you know, through that, because we grew up and there are so many layers that we have put, you know, that is not our core energy, and we keep putting them to fit into society. And like our job is to really dissolve it one by one, to really dissolve it. And how you can do that through your senses, like you can do that through really, you know, opening yourself up to all of it, to what it is, to the pain that comes, to the grief that comes. You know, I don't know how far you girls have gone into your practices, but like there are many practices that I teach and that I do obviously in my personal life, because I teach only what I works for me and what works for my client. I make sure that this is like a rule in my, you know, work. But to be able to release your emotions in a safe environment. If you're feeling anger, release that emotion. Hit pillow, scream into the pillow, you know. If you're feeling like a victim, allow yourself to be a victim for 5-10 minutes, you know, half an hour, whatever, but don't hold that in. Go in your room, open your arms and ask God, why me? And become the victim fully. Why me? Why me? Just become a victim for 5-10 minutes, so you don't have to be a victim in your real life. You have the opportunity of practicing and going deep into your senses in the safety of your own bedroom. So when you meet the king or the queen, whatever you prefer, you can truly like come as a whole, because they're getting ready for you. They're preparing. You are an energetic match. So like, if you meet someone at your lowest, you're probably gonna meet, if you're at your lowest, you're probably gonna meet someone that is a match for that. But if you are like, okay, this is not my lowest, it's just like my emotion, and let my emotion flow, and I'll let my emotion flow, and I'm like, just, you know, come on, bring me whatever, let flow through me. I'm not resisting, I'm letting it move. And then it's like life can really like the results, you can quantum leap into the desire, the lifestyle, the relationship, or the business that you want, because you're letting life flow through you. But if you're resisting it because of fear, like if I would resist, you know, I am keeping, it's almost selfish when we resist, because we're keeping our light to shine into others. Imagine if Tanya invites me and I say, and I resist. I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm afraid of speaking or something, if I'm resisting into these invitations, you know, to speak into events or to teach in my courses, like I'm keeping my light to shine, my wisdom to shine into your life, into, you know, and then it's just like, okay, now you have this information and now you're going to share, you're going to practice, and then you're going to share, and then we're going to create a ripple effect. And that's the organism that we live in. So our senses is, it's necessary that we are in touch. So the organism is alive, is pulsating. If we are part of an organism and we stand in a corner and we are not moving, not feeling, we're resisting it, there is like a deficiency there, and the whole thing kind of like doesn't really flow. So you have to kind of go and with the flow, you know, of life, and feel the feelings and go with fear and feel the fear. Fear here to protect us, you know, to make us, to help us survive. But when we can evolve into the next stages, you know, patriarchy, how am I going to explain this in 3 minutes? I'm just like, okay, patriarchy. It was like, I feel like it was a lot of like control, domination. That was a lot of leading with fear. And then now we're like, okay, love and fear, what are you going to choose? You have this like, la la la, what are you choosing, love or fear, right? Have you heard that before? And I feel like now it's like, how do we lead with love? There's no more like fear. This how do we lead with love? And that's the interconnection. And that's when we really like, when we're leading with love, that's when we step up. We become the creatrix. We become the one that it's like, I am creating from that place of pure alignment. So like there is the healing process. There is the healing process that we go through first. And then the creator, as creators, we have to really dissolve those parts. And then we go to the next phase, which is the creative process of creating the things that we would like. And like, how do I navigate that space of creation until I get to the creation, which is the third stage, which is the interconnection, which is the third stage of everything. It's where we want to be. Yeah. So I know it's been a lot of information. I want to know how are you guys feeling? How are you girls feeling so far? What was the biggest takeaway for you? And I'm going to leave you with that. I want to invite you to get clear on two things. One question, the first question that I want you to ask yourself is, what are the things that you grew up hearing, or even already as a grown-up that you heard, that made you suppress some of your senses and afraid of expressing it to the world? Because I want you to, this week, I want you to eat the food and make noise. I want you to walk and feel your feet touching the ground. I want you to breathe and feel the smell. I want you to take space with your presence and your energy. I would love that. And I would love for you to share with me how that been. Like really see things. When you see things, even if it's not the beauty that you want to see, the beauty of it. And share with me. So what are the things that you think that you were suppressing? Because maybe you heard something or something happened. And what are you committed to? And this, because the beginning of the year is the season of dreams. Anything is possible. What are you committed to fully embracing your power, your senses? The most beautiful arts, they were created through the most intense emotions, like anger, sadness, grief. The most beautiful art. So what are you committed right now, to become more sensual, to become part of this embodied, alive organism. Thank you so much. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, if you like. I have a few things going on, like I'm offering. You're more than welcome to join. Some things are free, some things are paid. And I would love to stay in touch with you. Thank you so much, Tanya. It was a pleasure speaking at your event. I really enjoyed feeling your energy and being in this space with you. And I really wish that you have the most amazing life and year ahead of you. Mwah.
Thank you so much. Do you want to share your Instagram so everyone's listening can find you?
Yeah. So my Instagram is my name, basically, Thatja Andreade. So my name as it is on the screen, I'm gonna write it in the chat, but basically this is my Instagram. So feel free to send me a message and to share with me your takeaways. Please do, because I like, this is why we do what we do, right? We wouldn't like hear from you, like what is striking, what is touching you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, beautiful sister. It was amazing. We stay in touch. Have a beautiful afternoon in Bali, right? It's afternoon.
Enjoy the rest of your day and the amazing workshops ahead. Bye bye.